Hi, in this video, I wanted to talk about our head and our beliefs, our perspective on reality, and our mind. And the reason is, which I'm actually feeling right now, is this Uranian-Aquarian vibration that is kind of heightened at the moment, with Pluto just moved retrograde into, Pluto in Aquarius just moved retrograde, and Uranus just moved into Gemini, and we just moved into Gemini season, expecting a full moon in Sagittarius and a new moon in Gemini. And mid-June, Uranus is going to square the nodes, which is also a big thing. So there's a lot of potential transformation in this, in our beliefs, in our perspective on reality, maybe expansion of reality, and in our mind, basically, which is like this, the big cedar of change. And I also would say that this is kind of the seed of like a revolution, from where revolution happens. And with that, I mean from the inside and from where we face our fears that keeps us in this kind of herd consciousness, limiting beliefs, um, running in this hamster wheel and keeping us kind of afraid of moving into a new path, maybe our own path, because of fear of not belonging, of being kind of an outcast, and all those kind of things. So this is kind of where we liberate ourselves. And I would say Uranus, which is, I think, the big liberator here, is to me this laser beam that just kind of hits us in a liberating way in our mind, in our brain, and hits us where we kind of need to be awakened, where we need to be liberated. And I do believe that most freeing up, most liberation happens from our mind, from our way of seeing the world, from what we believe. And from that, we create our life, basically. We create this show that has a specific focus. And we're not really open to the other possibilities that lies outside of that. And we're kind of not aware. I think none of us are, until we see this shift in perspective. We see this happens, basically, and it's like, wow, I didn't think of it like that. I didn't think of that possibility, that opportunity, or even understanding other people's perspectives in a new way. So this is a huge force, and also with this, there's huge possibilities, and those are going to be with us a long time, because we do have Pluto in Aquarius, we do have Uranus in Gemini, which is these really way showers of these shifts. But and that is right now heightened, I would say. Of course, with these great potential possibilities, with great potential comes also these shadow aspects, these distortions that we kind of need to face, to take the good pieces out of all of this. And that is, of course, this huge amount of information flooding into our system. All of this kind of electricity that's going on, disturbing disturbing parts of the noise. That's also disturbing our brain. And what comes with this vibration is oftentimes a huge scatteredness in the mind. Sometimes for good, to kind of let that Uranus vibe come through our thought structures and systems to shift them. But also overwhelm, and like tiredness. And of course, you're going to feel maybe not that clear, maybe a bit, or maybe very foggy and unclear from time to time. So, and with this huge amount of information, with no objective truth, there's also, of course, a huge ask for us to be discerning, to find what's true for us. And that is, I think, the whole point with this vibration. That's where we want to come, where we want to kind of go, is to find that inner truth, what's true for you. That is kind of the end game here. And personally, I just gone through a Uranus transit on my Mercury, which is very much this energy. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, so we're dealing with Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, which is the higher octave of this vibration, and while as Mercury slash Gemini is kind of the lower octave. So that's more, Gemini Mercury is more around our thoughts, our thought structures, analysis, collecting information, collecting data, that kind of thing. The messenger, the communicator, while as Uranus Aquarius is much more kind of the higher octaves, so more connected to natural law, to more the universal vibration of truth, moving beyond our thought structure, moving beyond all perceived reality, basically, with that kind of laser beam. So, and these two combined can be very intensive for the head. And I've really experienced that recently. It can be very physical. Maybe it's not for all, but for me, it's been very palpable in my brain. And I've been like having that experience a couple of times in my life where it's really intense. And then during this transit, a lot of times where it's not maybe that intense, but it's very clear that that's what's going on. And it feels almost like on a cellular level in my brain, it's like electricity, something happening here. And it's no pain, it's just a bit weird. And so that's can be very physical. And when that happens, I know I need to ground. I need to just disconnect from everything, go out into the woods or create something with my hands or just take like time off because it's too much up there. It's also a fascinating experience that's been happening recently that I haven't discovered before. I see it a lot in my hypnosis clients, I would say mostly, and that is this shift of perspectives. And it's been like I had maybe 4 times the last year a situation where I something happened which made me really think about my beliefs in one way or the other. It could be what I want, how I decide things, what's important to me, what I do believe, and kind of ended up around that reflections like this is how I see things, sort of. And then slept one night and woke up the other morning with a pure shift in belief. And it's just like, and those shifts of beliefs are never like going from one end to the other. It's more like a slight, subtle shift. And, but it makes a huge impact. So, woke up the other morning, like the morning after, and felt a whole new perspective on these different situations. It's like maybe I'm open to that. I didn't think of that. And really this experience of new opportunities, new possibilities, new ways of seeing things, which I love. This has not been intentional. This has been a very natural process that actually had surprised me a lot in a good way. And when that happens, there's this ripple effect going through our emotional body. And of course, at times there can be things we need to move through. from that emotional body, from our from our energetic body. And I see that also with clients in hypnosis, that after that kind of shift, some things is impossible to keep doing, like things that we're kind of maybe not meant to do, that we're meant to leave behind. Before you could do it anyway, and after it's like no, it's a no. And that can be, of course, kind of challenging because you have to deal with that conflict or that fear that you didn't want to deal with. And it ripples all through the physical body. And of course, that can take different amount of times and different amount of like processes and situations coming up, but the effect is usually very instant in a way, just that we kind of can't keep doing what we have been doing that hasn't been good for us. So that has been happening a couple of times. It's been kind of amazing to me, and I'm very grateful for it. And I am sure that many out there are having a similar experience, especially now as Uranus is moving into Gemini. And we also have then this Uranus squaring the lunar nodes, which is also very like profound and strong. And the lunar nodes right now, the south node is in Virgo. So kind of where we like more of the karmic things that we would want to leave behind. And then we have the North Node in Pisces, which is kind of more what we are moving into. So leaving behind a bit of the unnecessary Virgo perfectionism, for example, self-criticism. Maybe we've been doing this like self-discovery journey in a very judgmental and strict way. So allowing space for kind of life to move through. So all of these over rigid behaviors in all kinds of ways, and over self criticism, all of that like need to be perfect kind of things. And then on the other, that could also be typically when we have then Uranus in Gemini squaring this south node in Virgo. It's like, to me, very much the TikTok reel that's talking about this is how you fix this kind of thing. And it's very generic, simplified, instead of being then finding kind of taking time and finding a natural flow in discovering your own physical body, for example, and finding out what your body needs, not through a TikTok video. And then we have the Pisces in the North Node, which is more of moving towards then like a broader perspective, broader reality, moving into surrendering to maybe where life want to take us, moving into more creativity and less rigidity. So finding maybe a new balance between heaven and earth, kind of thing. And I would say I also got shown a very beautiful metaphor for this. And again, because we all, I think, struggle with what is kind of the earthly basic things that I practically need to do to survive in this world. And what is kind of the amount of, how do I surrender to allowing then more life to move through me, allowing like a co-creation with life, you could say. And I got shown, and this can happen, of course, in like maybe all of our lives, but also in certain areas of our lives, kind of where we struggle more. And I got shown this beautiful, and it's not rocket science, but it just stuck with me to find this base, this rhythm. Just find the base and the rhythm for what you want to create. Maybe it's just more kind of stability in life, more groundedness, or it's more harmony and peace or whatever. Just find some kind of practice. And practice always sounds like it has to be very spiritual. It doesn't have to be. But some kind of rhythm that keeps cultivating this vibration that you want to create more of. So just like have that base rhythm, bam, bam, bam. Maybe it's something you do weekly or daily or I don't know, monthly even. But just and I think the importance is more that it really feels true, that it feels true to you, that you are cultivating your essence, your vibration, and you keep doing that. And every time you do it, you're gonna like do it deeper, and make that vibration stronger within you. That's the important thing. And preferably with some joy as well. And then when you have that bass rhythm, then that melody comes more than the Pisces. If this is Virgo, the practical, simplified doing, then you have the melody up here that might go like this. There's might be like really surges of creativity and or divine inspiration or insights or peace or serenity. I don't know, whatever we're looking for in this kind of melody. But there might be also less at points. But when we keep this rhythm, we also keep our stability, our resilience to be here for these surges and also for actually the valleys when we don't have that much of a creativity or whatever it is, that much harmony or serenity, then we still can keep tending to this rhythm. So I found that very beautiful and useful in this Uranus squaring the nodes. Everything actually that can keep us grounded during this time of fire and air is so valuable. So really tending to our grounding or this practice, our rhythm, is, I think, so valuable because when it all comes down to it, it is about creating space. It's creating the space to become aware, to listen within, and not be out here all the time. Just come back home. That is really what we need in this time, in years to come, I think. So thank you for listening. Down below, I do have my services with the hypnosis, with the alignment sessions, and what I most often work with, the longer containers, the Amplify. I'm going to come up with an Amplify Summer edition and also the Essentially You, which is the 3-month mentorship. Also online gatherings monthly. And this one coming up 14th of June will be about trusting you, listening deep within. So it's going to match very much this kind of energy that's going on right now. So take care and thank you for listening. Bye bye.